Hey guys, this is Cholera SC, and I'm here with a very special guest commentator. This is a great new addition to the world of StarCraft. This is Peanut, actually. You may have heard her from a dual commentary that I did with Klazar, the MSL Finals. And by the way, I did say her. This is Peanut, a female enthusiast, and certainly an excellent addition. She's actually been to the Holy Land, she's been to Korea, and she's met many of these programmers, and she's actually met Bisu. In this we have July versus Bisu in the third day of the OSL. This is the third match, and so sorry about just talking about Peanut, my co-commentator here, but anyway, for both players, this is a very important game. Bisu is 1-0 in this group of death. He managed to defeat Much on Plasma after Much went for a rather crazy one-base build, one-base carrier build, and now he's facing July on the new map, Chupung-Ryeong. I love that name, Chupung-Ryeong. And well, I'd just like to say welcome to Peanut. I think this is the second dual commentary she's ever done, and the first on Vile Attack. So congratulations, and great to have you along with me.
Thanks very much for having me, Cholera. I've always liked Cholera's commentaries, and I'm very happy to be here. It looks like it's going to be a very exciting match. I've seen Bisu play a couple times, and it's always been great matches, and always great expression and enthusiasm from his fans, his many female fans. So there we go.
Yeah, and looks like Bisu actually is going to open up with the Forge Fast Expand, and meanwhile we saw July go for a 9-pull. Note that he didn't actually go for the gas afterwards. He did a gas extractor trick to pick up that 10th drone before the Overlords produced. This is Bisu is the inventor of the eponymous Bisu build, of course. And by the way, a little history lesson. It was March of 2007. At the peak of Savior's dominance, when Bisu faced Savior in the MSL Finals, everyone thought Savior would crush Bisu in the series, but then he unveiled the Bisu build, which is, of course, Forge Fast Expand into Corsair and then DTs, and he beat Savior 3-0 in that series. So right now, I mean, certainly he has a reputation for being an amazing anti-Zerg player, but on the other hand, July is very good against Protoss. I think he's about 67% against Protoss. It's his best matchup, and now July has Zerglings coming towards Bisu's base. Bisu has put up the 2 cannons before Nexus. He needs to, because this is a 9-pull, of course. And meanwhile, July is going for that expansion. And yeah, this is definitely going to be an interesting matchup, I think. I'm not sure which race this map is biased towards. It's so new that you really can't tell, but it is a 2-player map, by the way. And now we're going to see the opening builds from both players.
Yeah, I'd just like to say, it was really cool how a few seconds ago July Zerg had that one drone blocking that tiny little ramp and was able to keep that probe from scouting into his base. It was really good placement by him, and I guess it's probably an interesting feature of this map that the ramps are so small that that's possible, that you can just have one drone, blocking a little probe from coming in.
And now July actually trying to do a Zergling sneak. I wonder why he just... Well, I mean, July actually loves doing this. Most players want to get the gas upgrade, get the gas and the speed upgrade before trying to run Zerglings through. July has only managed to get 2 Zerglings through, and July loves doing this for scouting purposes. He did this against Rock, I believe, last year in the OSL quarterfinals, and it actually helped him a lot in that game on Andromeda. But anyway, now July's going to be trying to harass these probes. No gas mining yet for Bisu. I guess he's just gonna try to save up some more minerals and pick up perhaps more probes as natural expansion. Now he is mining gas. We'll see if he decides to go for that Corsair DT build once again. The standard Bisu build. Although I think modern Zergs have found out ways to defeat it by going for those early Hydralisks and early Overlord speed. Anyway, July has set up a double expansion, of course. He's gotten that his natural and the expansion at the lower right, and we'll see if he decides to go for a standard Hydralisk build. It's going to be a little difficult, though, for July because he is scouted right now, and I think Bisu is going to have a pretty good idea of what July is doing. July doesn't really have a technological advantage or anything like that.
I'm actually hoping that July Zerg will come out with some Mutalisks, because I heard from Artosis actually that July Zerg really pioneered the sort of extremely agile, scalpel, precise Mutalisk harass that now Jaedong is known for. So I really hope to see a little bit of that in this game. That would be exciting.
Yep, indeed. And if you go back to my Pimpus plays, the moment of his unveiling the Mula stack was actually a Pimpus play, July versus Hwasun, a long time ago, like 3 years ago, and it changed Zerg play forever. But we did see July fail using just Mutalisks in game 1 against Flash. He tried to basically go for all-in Mutalisks against Flash, and it actually didn't work out. And you're right, he is going to go for the Spire, so we are going to be seeing some July Mutalisk dancing very soon.
Yes, that'll be extremely exciting. Let's see, I'd like to tell the viewers out there that I actually have Bisu's autograph on my bulletin board in my room, so I see it every day, and I say, oh my god, I can't believe I met Bisu.
That is awesome. And now, Peanut, I have to ask you a question. This is a serious question. Who is more handsome, Bisu or Reach? There's only one right answer.
Okay. I know there's only one right answer where you are concerned, but the thing is that I haven't had the extreme pleasure of meeting Reach yet, so I'm going to have to hold off judgment until I actually meet Reach in person.
Okay, that's a fair enough answer. And now we're seeing the Corsair, first Corsair harassing the Overlord there, and July meanwhile has gone for a 5 hatcheries build here. He's not going to go for Mutalisks. He's probably just going to go for Scourge with that Spire. He's going to go for what's been done by a lot of Zergs recently. GG Play actually did this against the Protoss player he played against. His group, geez, I forget the name, but against Best, actually, it was Best, and it didn't work out very well. It is a very macro build here, and yes, we are seeing the Hydra Den, so basically, July knows he can't get air superiority with Mutalisks, at least, so he's just going to get a couple of Scourge to try to deny the Corsairs, and also, it's actually very effective against Corsair Reaver, in case that's what Bisu wants to do. But anyway, so now we see Bisu pushing out. He's going to try to put some pressure on July early on.
Yeah, definitely. It does make sense that he would go for Scourge rather than Mutalisk, just because the Corsairs are just so powerful in terms of air superiority, in terms of anti-air, and chasing down those Overlords and being able to control the air of the map.
Yeah, absolutely. I think definitely Bisu's kind of handsome is different from Reach's. Now, I'll give you, I'd say Bisu's in like the top 3 of non-Reach handsome pro gamers, because he's definitely got the good hairstyle, and he's got that, you know, kind of like cute face, you know. But I don't know. For me, it's still the Mantos is still the manliest of all Protoss.
Well, yes. I mean, clearly Bisu's appeal is slightly different from Reach's appeal in terms of, you know, manliness versus sort of pretty boyness. But if you were to meet Bisu in person, you would just be so charmed. I can tell you.
I might be. I don't know though. I'd be careful. Anyway, so we're against my expectations. July's actually gone for Mutalisk. It's almost like a fake here. It's almost like what I was saying before about a fake double-double. But oh man, Bisu already has that Archon out. He wasn't faked out. What I mean by kind of a fake is that by going for the 5 hatcheries, he might have caused Bisu to expect that he wouldn't be building any Mutalisks, but he has built those Mutalisks, and now Bisu does have those Archons there, so those Archons are going to be able to do good area defense. However, he's still going to be vulnerable to this constant harassing that July is going to try doing. And so far, we haven't seen any Hydralisks. July has to be... Oh, no, never mind. Those are Hydralisks, but we haven't seen any...
Yep, we saw the Hydralisks right there.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, sorry for interrupting you. But yeah, I mean... It's like you gotta have a really balanced strategy here against Bisu, who's just so unpredictable. And I remember watching him, and it was just like the crowd was just gasping every time he sort of revealed a new trick up his sleeve. So it's for Bisu is definitely one of those psychological players, I think, and that's one of his strengths.
Which games did you actually get to see of his? Was it the OSL preliminaries?
Yes, I saw. I actually saw that ridiculous game that just went on and on with like the factory floating.
Oh, yes.
And the, yeah, that was crazy.
Yes, I casted at it. Jeez, who is he playing against? I actually forgot who he's playing against. Doesn't matter. Right now, we are seeing Bisu trying to pick up that expansion at the upper left. I think July knows it's there, though. He did scout it with his Lings, and now he's moving out with the Mutalisks. Curiously enough, he doesn't have the Hydralisks out yet. Maybe he's trying to surprise Bisu with the number of Hydralisks he has. Now, Hydralisks are very effective against Archons. Basically, as the Protoss, you have a choice between going for High Templar, which are very effective against Hydralisks, marginally effective, pretty effective, but not as effective as Archons against Mutalisks. And it looks like July has He's going to go switching back from tech to tech, and this is a strength that Zerg should employ more often than they do in the mid-game, switching from Mutas back to Hydras and back to Mutas again.
Yeah, definitely. It'll be really interesting to see how this all plays out on this new map. It's a very pretty map. I mean, I like it aesthetically, even if you know it's so new that we don't know its strengths and weaknesses yet. And I think its name, which translates to sort of Autumn Wind Dominion or Autumn Wind sort of district, is very pretty.
That is very pretty. It reminds me a little bit of an old map called Shin Peaks of Beidou, and there were some epic matches between Savior and Naura on them. They were in fact called the Holy Wars. Anyway, we're seeing a big battle in the middle here. July's got his Mutalisks and decent protection to hit the Zealots. His Hydras are doing some good retreating. He needs to focus down those Archons though. Those Archons are the absolute backbone here of Bisu's army. 2 Archons going down, I think, and the 3rd Archon is going to go down. Now July still has about a dozen Hydras left. He's got another force there, and those Speedlots are going to try to chase down those Hydras, but it doesn't really matter because the Archons are down, and Speedlots by themselves are not that powerful, even when they do have the +1 upgrade, as he has right now. And we're going to see probably July go for a big counterattack with a second group here. Very smart play by July, keeping several groups around the map.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it does seem a little bit funny at first that he has sort of these, you know, these units there doing nothing, but it is a really smart strategy, especially if he wants to flank a big force of Zealots.
And wow, here comes the first storm though. Bisu has recovered and gotten a couple of High Templars. That's only 2 though, and it probably have 1 storm each, so it's probably just 1 Psionic Storm, maybe 2 at most left. Here comes another Psi Storm. July going for the dodge, and looks like he actually did a more successful dodge this time. But now the Speedlots are chasing down the Hydralisks. July needs to get a couple of Mutalisks actually, or maybe to switch to Lurkers, but I actually think I like what he was doing with the Mutalisks before. He can use those Mutalisks, now that the Archons are down, to pick off some of those High Templar, but actually he is going to go for Lurkers here. So definitely not exactly the standard builds we see now. We're not seeing either Ser Reaver or Ser DT, which are usually the standard openings for Protoss, and we're seeing this back and forth switching from July. Very interesting so far.
Yeah, I mean, really, it's all about adaptability, and it's really all about, you know, sometimes you just can't go for the standard Bisu build, even if you're Bisu. So it's all about these players, you know, kind of being out in the field, engaging each other's strengths and weaknesses, and then adapting their builds accordingly. And sometimes maybe you'll come out with something crazy and new, like the Bisu build.
Yeah, absolutely. And you have to wait until you're in the finals to unveil it. Just think about that. But anyway, it looks like Bisu has actually managed to flank July here, and he's actually stolen a march against him. He might be able to get south here before July can recover, but looks like July is actually going backwards now. Good storm on those Hydralisks though, picking off at least half a dozen. Wow, more than that. Great storms from Bisu, and those High Templar are being so effective right now. I think July's going to actually lose this mini battle here, and this is going to be very important because Bisu is the center of the map, and you don't want, as a Zerg, ever to lose map control against a Protoss player. It's just way too dangerous in the hands of someone like Bisu.
Absolutely, I completely agree. And I think that July's lurker placement in that little mini battle wasn't that great. They were kind of too far apart, and even though he tried to get his Hydralisks back so that they were sort of within the safety range of the lurkers, it didn't have quite the effect that he was hoping for.
Yeah, and note that the robotics facility is only now going up, so during that entire time, and still, Bisu does not have any observers out, so those lurkers might bring July a little bit of relief here. He might be able to push up and actually do some more damage to Bisu. Here he goes with the lurkers. He's moving towards the natural expansion, but I think there might be too many storms waiting for him. But a lot of Dragoons there, but no observers yet, and this is going to be critical. Can July do enough damage here before the first observer pops out? Bisu's full retreat now. I can't believe how fast this game is turning around here. I thought for a second that July was in big trouble, but it looks like the power of the Zerg to build up more Hydralisk is going to work. But it's going to be so close at the front door. He's getting in the cannon line, but that one cannon still remains. That one cannon still detecting. Looks like the cannon will go down, so there's no detection left. And July could win this game very quickly now.
Yeah, and it was. I guess Bisu sort of used two of the High Templar that was doing so much damage against the Hydralisk to combine into an Archon, so that he had that many fewer Psionic Storms for the Hydralisk. I don't think that was a good call by him. I think he should have kept the High Templar separate and used the Psionic Storms, or at least the potential for Psionic Storms, because now the Hydralisks keep on streaming in, and they are doing some significant damage here.
very close battle in the front. All the lurkers are down though, so now those speed lots are going to be a little more effective. It's all about unit composition here, army composition here in the mid game between these players. Basically, you have a fluid mix. I'll go into it later, but basically you want to balance several different types of units, and Bisu now is heavy on Dragoons. He needs to be heavier on Zealots and Speedlots, Zealots and High Templar, but wow, great storms there against July once again, and July has a couple more lurkers coming up very close, so if July can focus down this natural expansion, Bisu will be in huge trouble. One more cannon left, that's it. July looks like he's going for a small retreat, but he's just actually using this method to micro against those Speedlots, and now he's got a couple more lurkers left. Looks like July's going to pick off that one cannon, and now he's... Wow, I cannot believe this. July might be able to win against Bisu right now. July, the master against Protoss, taking down Best 3-0, of course, in the last OSL. And once again, he might claim another victory here against Bisu, and it's a victory he definitely needs to stay within this group and have a chance of leaving.
Yeah, I mean, it was interesting to me that there the observer was out there. Lurker egg block. That's amazing.
That's very good. Very nice play by July. Sorry, keep going.
No problem. It seems like July Zerg's really been good this game at blocking those really narrow ramps. I mean, look at the concentration on Bisu's face. It's just like he just can't believe that July Zerg just did that.
I know. I especially think, yeah, I think definitely he wasn't expecting that big of a push from the Hydralisks. Like I said, I think July had hidden those Hydralisks, and the fact that July did have those 5 hatcheries has helped him a lot. Note that he hasn't expanded again though, so it is a bit of a calculated risk. He could have played for a more macro game than he did, but now looks like Bisu is pretty much out of this game because of July's gambit. He's going for those 5 hatcheries off of 3 bases and just pumping these Hydralisks. Look at the upgrades too, +2/+2, and that's given him a huge advantage throughout this entire game. He was at +1/+1 when Bisu was only at 0-1, and that's not a situation your Protoss wants to get into. And looks like now July is all over the gateways. It's going to be over very soon here. The probes are all getting slaughtered trying to defend here, and Bisu will lose his game, I feel. Great play by July so far, and really Tushin, the god of war, is showing that he's good against every Protoss out there.
Yeah, I mean, the Bisu's photon cannon placement is a little unfortunate here just because they were so... Oh, there's GG. Yeah, Bisu knew that there was no going back from that. But, oh, I mean, July Zerg's Hydralisk and Lurker Micro there, just the way they worked together at the end, he really pulled it together. He really made this his game to win.
Absolutely, and really he shows that certainly he's capable against more than... oh, and that booth girl looks happy to see him. Whoa. Usually the booth girls are actually very serious, but you know, July puts a smile on their face, which is good. Flash did not put a smile on his booth girl's face because he couldn't open the door for like 3 minutes after he won. But anyway, July really showing he can beat any kind of Protoss, not just Best, which some people basically wrote off as not the best Protoss against a Zerg player out there. Bisu certainly is legendary against a Zerg, and the fact that July managed to beat him is quite incredible.
Yes, Bisu's large female fan club is going to be very sad after this. I'm sure there will be much, at least, consoling of Bisu, and the girls will bring him many bottles of soda and boxes of donuts as they do for the losers, just to be like, look, it's okay, we still love you, don't worry about it.
Maybe do you think July wants to lose some games then on purpose, just so he can get the donuts and the soda?
Well, that's a little mean, but I don't know. I think they prefer winning.
This is true. This is true. How do you think the girls in Korea view July Zerg? If I were a girl, I'd be attracted to July Zerg. Actually, he's a powerful looking man. You know? He's strong. You know, he's big but strong, I think.
Oh, I don't know. I didn't get to see July Zerg play, so I didn't get to see how large of a female fan club he has. But that's definitely something I'll look for when I go back to Korea.
Yeah, seriously. Don't give him any hate. He's a big guy, but he's like, you know, the godfather. He's powerful. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the first game here, and that you definitely enjoyed the fresh new voice of Pina. I definitely very much enjoyed having her along with me. Next game will be GG Play versus Light, so stay tuned. And GG.
Yeah, thank you very much. GG, everybody.